Computed properties differ from just properties because they don't store any value. Instead, they calculate the returned value. And here we have example of computed property, which is circle radius. This is return type, double. However, to make it more obvious, let's start first with circle circumference. Data type is double, and this is circle circumference, 20. The formula for circle circumference is 2 times m p times radius. This is formula. I use m underscore p. This is symbol for this constant stores value for mathematical p number. So circle circumference is just 2 times value of p times radius. And let's say that circle radius is our computed property. Just to get this property, it makes some calculation, because this circle radius is not property which can store some value. Instead, it computes some value and returns it. So this is the way here how it can calculate the circle radius. It takes circle circumference and modify this formula in this way to get circle radius. We get it in this part of block. This whole block is formula for computed property circle radius. It is built from two parts, getter and setter. In getter area, we get circle radius. We just get this property. However, we get it in special way. It's not stored. We cannot just take it from somewhere. It's returned in a way that it's first calculated in some way. It depends exactly with what is this computed property, with what it's related to. So in our situation, this is just related somehow to circle circumference through this formula. So again, this is getter part of our computed property. It takes some external variable and modify it somehow to get value for this computed property. As I said, in our case, we just modify this formula for circle circumference and we get circle radius. Return data type is double, and we use this formula here to get circle radius. Actually, we can see it's here. We can print the value of circle radius, but in this place, the value of the circle radius is not just taken from some place. When we write it, it's calculated here, and we can get circle radius for this circle circumference. The circle radius is computed property, and it can not only get its value, but it can set indirectly something else, some other property. It can do it. This is not obligatory. This getter part must be always present, but the setter part is not obligatory. If we don't have the setter part, but only getter remains, it means that we have computed property read only. We cannot set any other property. We can only get value for our computed property. So this part is not obligatory. We can get it to set indirectly some other property. In our case, what we do here is this is temporary name for our new circle radius. Here we describe in the setter part what will happen when we set the new value for circle radius. And in setter we set value of indirectly of some other property. In our case, when we change radius, it will modify circle circumference because obviously because of this formula. So in setter we don't modify the circle radius, this property, we modify indirectly some other property. In our case, this is circle circumference. And if we set new circle radius, through this formula, we modify circle circumference. This RD is temporary name for the new circle radius value. When we set the new circle radius value, we modify this way, we will modify circle circumference. However, we don't need to use special name for the new value of our computed property. We can use keyword, which is special name for new value for our circle radius. This new value, this word, this keyword. When we use it, we don't need to set any other name. It means that when we set circle radius to new value, according to this formula, our circle circumference will be modified. We can see here that we can read circle radius through the getter. We will get it because we have circle circumference. So we can calculate circle radius. It's here. It's obvious. This is not complicated. And in this line, we set new value for circle radius. When we set it, it means at the same time the setter part is fired. What will happen? It means that this new value is set to our computer property, which means here we will place this 5, this new value for our computer property. So it, according to our setter block, it will modify circle circumference in this way. So okay, so here we set new radius, new value. According to setter block, it will modify circle circumference. Here we set new property, at the same time something else will be modified. Some other property, in our case, this is circle circumference. Okay, so let's check after this setting new circle radius, what will be the new circle circumference. We can read here that it's modified. Our new circle radius is 5. Previous circle circumference was 20, but because the new circle radius is 5, so according to setter formula, we modified circle circumference, and new circle circumference is now 31 point something. This is more complicated number now. However, we can see it's obviously different one than the initial one. And print line circle radius is obviously 5 because we just get it from this formula. Circle circumference is now 31 point something divided by what we have here, we will get exactly 5. Getter works properly, setter sets the value of circle circumference, anyway in our case. And what we have here, this line is commented, is the way it should be actually. Should be this way. This is what I said before. This is computer property read only. We have only getter here. We don't need setter. We have setter only if we want to modify indirectly some other property, which can be computed or not computed, doesn't matter. But we here in this area in setter we modify something else, not our computed property itself, but some other property. In getter part we have formula what should be our computed property. So this value is not stored, it's not fixed. We have to calculate every time we get this value of this property. Obviously, from our point of view, circle radius is a computer property, but we can just read it. It's invisible for us that this property is computed. So this is how computed property or computed properties look like.